the OnlyLeedsbros show.
Hello and welcome to the show. This is player ratings versus Burnley. Leeds United 0, Burnley 0. Bit of a snorefest Dillo at Turf Moor, and we will try and do player ratings as best as we can. I can't imagine anybody getting high marks on this one. Dillo, we'll pass straight over to you. We'll get straight into it. Elan Meslier, out of 10, how did you rate his performance?
Give him a 4. No, go on, I'll give him a 5, a bit harsh, isn't it? Yeah, no, there was one incident where he came for the ball, it's corner, fluffed his lines.
He was in the sights of Dillo, wasn't he?
Positioning again.
It was Connor Roberts, wasn't it? Connor Roberts free kick.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm just moving straight on because I'm it's like a broken record now. I mean, I'm not the only one to know it. So like, I've still seen it on Twitter and all. You know, it's baffling me. Anyway,
yeah. I went to 6 straight off Meslier. I went to 6 for Meslier. Yeah, didn't have much to do in the game, Dillo. And yeah, the one time that he was kind of not called upon, yeah, he made a bit of a hash of it, didn't he? Great ball into the box from Connor Roberts, great delivery, and he just comes out in no man's land, and yeah, a bit all over the place, and he just has that in his game, Dylan, doesn't he? He just puts the fear of God in you. And he did make one good save. Do you remember when they were through?
Yeah, I'm literally about to say they want to cut you off.
He did make one decent save.
Yeah, I'm still giving him a 5.
When they threw one up, when they were through, and he said that they were offside in the end anyway. But yeah, like I think we were all kind of shouting when he came out for that one into no man's land. We're just like, what are you doing, John? Just stay on your line. No need for you to come out there. Yeah, so I went to 6 for Elan Meslier. You went 5, yeah?
Just real quick though, under the circumstances of like the way the players have been playing in that match, you know, the build up, slow build up, and all. Obviously we'll get onto that, but you know. Just like that, if that goal had went in when he was out of position, all them lads tried to a certain degree slow down. It was all for nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Where you want
the hard work that the outfield players done. Yeah.
Like with the point, that, you know what I mean? Anyway, move on.
Yeah, next up, Jayden Bogle, right back. For me, Dylan, man of the match again. Man of the match for against Sheffield Wednesday, man of the match against Norwich, and man of the match against Burnley for me. Well, Leeds man of the match anyway. Thought he was brilliant. Ever positive, getting forward, looking to make things happen. Had one shot that was blocked when he got inside the 18-yard box. Again, doing that the underlap as well as the overlap as well. I just thought he looked really dangerous. I went an 8 out of 10 for Jayden Bogle.
Yeah, it's just been consistent now. As well, I know I said that about Byron, but you know he's doing these mad runs. I've heard right back. He's having a lot of shots over the last couple of games. I'm loving his motivation. I'm loving his confidence, and I'm loving that drive in him. You know, maybe there's something on that right hand side that Vark is giving them because DJ kind of the same. You know, that kind of flair. He get it. I think Jayden Bogle finally gets what Leeds is about. For me, there just because of consistency, I'm giving him a 9. Because he was the best ever Bad Bunch. Yeah, I'm just really enjoying him every time that I keep giving him an 8 or a 7, and he's just gone above and beyond. If anything,
better and better.
He's improving, and better. Yeah, I'm more confident.
Yeah, agree. Next up, Joe Rodon. I went to 7 for Joe Rodon. I thought defensively he was solid. I think if you're going to give a bit of plaudits to Burnley for being, you know, defensively good, which we know they are, I think you have to give some to Leeds as well, Dylan, in fairness to them, because you know Burnley didn't sit back. We had to do our defending as well, and we look very, very good. In our shape as well, and we limited them to very few chances. The only 2 I can think of off the top of my head is Fleming's 2 headers, one at the edge of the box where you know he probably should have been doing a little bit better, and then another one whipped in from Humphreys that was headed wide. But I thought Joe Rodon was solid. I thought he carried the ball out well. There was times where he was the one kind of driving with a forward, trying to get things going and getting us up the pitch. His passing was good. His reading of the game was good.
He actually done a really good ball in, didn't he? Was it the Piero? Was it?
Yeah, his passing was good, and it's something
ball,
that you know we have criticised him about in the past about his passing at times can be very wayward and very kind of careless with it.
It was nice to see though, Darren, because you know Strike does bring that to the table. So considering Strike is injured, and I have to agree with you. Yeah.
So I thought it was good. I went to a 7 for Rodon.
7. I'm actually going to go an 8 because I've given him a lot of stick over the last while. I think, for me anyway. Look, obviously. Bogle for me was definitely the man of the match, but Rodon, I just think he's been very consistent lately. Shaky start to the stutter again, sorry. a shaky start at the start of the season. There we go. Got to do. Considering what he was like last year.
Mm.
Yeah, no, really liking him, and he's only, for me, he's just as strong as an ox, and he takes a hit, and to be still in the starting squad, and not being injured with the amounts of knocks that he's been getting, 10 out of 10, like, he's just unbelievable. So yeah, I'm gonna go with an 8.
Lovely. Moving on to our captain, Ethan Ampadu. Wasn't impressed with him, Dylan, if I'm honest. I think he got a bit of a mixed reception as well on social media. You could see as well. I thought the first half, I thought he was poor. Dylan. He gave the ball away so many times.
8 times.
Every time he tried that long ball, he seemed to give it away. And there was a passage of play where every kind of pass he was doing, he just kept giving it away in quick succession. So it made it look like a really, really bad game for Ampadu. He did one good thing, was the tackle where he went in. Lovely tackle, gets the ball forced, cleans Foster, I think it was, over for them. Yeah, I think it was Foster, and picks up. Was the yellow card, wasn't it? When he booked? I think he was booked for it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Had to check it up anyway. But the referee gave a foul, and no chance in hell should that have been a foul. Absolutely not. He wins the ball, gets the man after, which is a great tackle in my opinion. Yeah, no way. But yeah, for me, Ampadu I thought was just a little bit kind of below par. I wasn't too happy with him. Slow things down at times, and I just think like as your captain, you kind of want to be up and at it, kind of lifting the tempo of the game. And yeah, I just don't think he done that. I went to 6 for Ampadu. I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest.
I had a feeling you were going to say that, and because of the tackle that he made, was what I was giving him the higher rating for, because of that. Under the circumstances of not my personal captain, but as the team I support, and he's the captain of it. He didn't put on a show for me. He really didn't. It was probably one of, for me, his worst performances. Now,
since he came back from injury, Dylan, that's probably been, for me, I think that's probably been, no, I take it back, the Hull one. He was, they were bad at Hull, weren't he? He was really bad at Hull.
I just think what's annoying about it is that, as I said, number one, he's a captain. He should be setting an example. And then, like that, it was very sloppy at times with the passing. Yeah, he made good tackles. People are saying, look, one of them as well, the centre-half position that he's in suits him. It doesn't. I'm starting to realise it doesn't. I don't think it's there. And I think
he can do a job there, Dillo, can't he?
Yeah.
I'd rather him in midfield.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, I'm actually going to give him a 5 there.
5.
Probably a bit harsh. I just think he really annoyed me, and I can't let it go.
I want strike back as soon as possible.
Yeah.
As soon as possible, just to get him back into the midfield, because I think with the way games that we have seen him, was in it. Who did he play over Christmas? He played Stoke and Derby over the Christmas break when he came back from injury, and he was brilliant in them away games, and we were poor away from home.
Yeah.
As long as he was injured, as soon as he comes back in, we were brilliant in them 2 away games, and I think he was a massive part of that. So I think away from home, he's good to have in that defensive midfield role. So I want him back in there ASAP. So yeah, hopefully we can get Pascal Struijk back up to speed as soon as possible. Moving to left back, Sam Boyram for me. I was hoping to see Firpo, but Boyram again, defensively solid, Dylan. We seem to say the same thing about Boyram week in, week out.
There's not much more to come.
Mr. Dependable, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Leeds. Like he just heart on the sleeve, defends brilliantly well. Again, my only kind of criticism of Boyram is that he doesn't give us what Firpo gives going forward. And the thing is, he just can't. He just can't give us what Firpo gives us. And I just think at times we do miss it. We do miss it a little bit. And yeah, for me, I think we missed a little bit of creativity against Burnley, and I think Firpo probably would have gave us that, kind of overlapping run to help Solomon out a little bit more as well. But yeah, look, he comes in, he does a job, he never makes a mistake, heart in the sleeve, no bother putting in tackles. Yeah, just a great backup player to have, Sam Boyram, and he's been brilliant this season for us. But this one I went to 6 out of 10 for Boyram.
Yeah, for me, just like a par, to be honest with you. I have to agree, defensively solid, he does the job, as you said. Doesn't really make any major issues or faults of his own, not sloppy passing. Yeah, the attacking part, I agree. And what I like about him is he'll take the yellow card if needs be. Kind of way, he's that type of player in him, but he'll also, he'll smash a player out of it as well. That's what I love about him.
Yeah, for someone with his injury record, Dylan, he just doesn't care.
Doesn't give a rat's. So for me, I'm actually going to give him a 7. I think a 7. Every time I give someone a 7 going forward now, for me, that's a par. That's just, they done what needs
That
to
should be
be,
the
what they
minimum,
done the
shouldn't
job.
it? If you're
Yeah,
below 7, I think to me you're off, isn't it?
there's something,
I think
there's something
7
wrong.
should be
Yeah.
your floor. Moving on to the midfield then, El Tanaka started in there with Gruev. I actually thought Tanaka was all right. I thought he was good. He had some nice moments on the ball. He had the most passes, progressive passes for Leeds United against Burnley. He tried to make things happen. It just didn't come off. It was just one of them games, and just where things are just not gonna go your way. But
It's,
thought
it's just
Tanaka,
Burnley, like, as more as I was
yeah,
giving Leeds stick, on Fark, it's just
yeah,
Burnley, to be honest with you, and that's what's annoying about it. 'Cause they're
no,
absolutely shocking.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I thought he had some good moments on the ball. Most progressive passes. I thought he was decent enough, so I went to 7 for Tanaka. Just didn't happen. Didn't happen for any of the Leeds players, but yeah, really, really good. Went 7 for him.
Yeah, on that, look, I probably would have went to 7 myself just because you went for a 7. I'll change it up a little bit. I feel, at times, and it's not his fault per se, but Ampadu would be one of the victims of it. It seems to be when it's slowed down, Tanaka's going to have to fall into that trap a little bit. At times there was a few that he could have necessarily made an impact, whether he was putting it through to DJ, because we know that Tanaka can pull off.
I think we were all
Serious.
culprits of it, Dylan. That's probably like the first time we've said that about Tanaka this season. But
Mm.
like usually he is one that does move it
Yeah.
quick though, doesn't he?
Quick,
Like
yeah, that's what's annoying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's you can see it in him when he's trying to progress forward, but whether obviously it's orders from Fark or whatever it is. But regardless of all that, he's still a smashing player. He's definitely been um, a serious contribution to this team. Like, I love him. I'm not for the price that we pay for him. But anyway, moving on. I'm going to give him a 6.
6. Not bad, not bad. Moving on to his midfield partner, Gruev, and this is the first time we've seen him start since he's came back from his long-term injury. We obviously spoke about it with Connor from One Leeds. You and Connor were very much kind of saying bring Gruev back in for this game. I was very much on the fence with it, thinking it might be a little bit too much for him. The tall order, even to come in, we know Farkley's changing at 70th minute, but I thought it might have been a tall order from coming back in, even to play 70 minutes after being out for so long and not really having much game time back on the pitch. And we know he's been back in training for a while. Yeah, but I was wrong. I thought he was good in there. He's physically very good, Dylan. He reads the game very well. He mopped things up. He's always one of them where you feel like when he always senses the danger, isn't it? When the other team are kind of on the ball, he kind of knows where to be, to kind of stop anything from happening. He's really, really good at that, and that's why I think his better position for me is defensive midfielder. We kind of to try and make him the Rotwell kind of type, and get forward, and he does do that. Obviously, not to the level of Joe Rotwell, but yeah, like that in possession, and I think going forward, he didn't really make things happen. It was very kind of side to side, and easy kind of passes, never really kind of risking that, and so he was. Yeah, he was okay. And again, look, it's hard to be critical of Gruev because he is only coming back in. But I went to 6 from him, and hopefully he gets back up to speed really quick because it's good having him back. Another good option in there, and it'd be interesting to see now when when Strike does come back and produce the option in there. Gruev is back now, nearly up to speed. It's going to be interesting to see who Fark's going to pick as his starting midfielders, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that duo though of Ampadu and Gruev for me, look, it's probably going to happen because I don't want it to happen.
Feels inevitable, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I just think Tanaka and Rotwell give you that going forward, where the other two would give you that more defensive when you're holding on to a lead.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, moving on, and Gruev for me, yeah, as you said, me and Connor wanted him in. I just felt I wanted him in, but I wanted, the wing backs. No disrespect to Boyer, he did have a great game. But with Firbo, as you said, gives you that bit more of an attacking form. He can do it. Whereas just with Gruev and Boyer, it was too defensively. But he done a great job. Smashed a few players up, won the ball a few times. I like him. I really do like him. I think he's
good at set piece as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Gives an option as well. Feels like there for a while our only kind of set piece taker was Joe Rotwell, but it feels like Gruev can do it as well, isn't it? We definitely has a free kick in him. We've seen that, and his corners in were good as well. We can never really make set pieces count and corners count, do we? But his balls into the box for me were good. They look threatening.
I just think that as well. He, considering his injury and to come back and then to play the way that he has. Just I have to give 10 out of 10 to the medical staff, considering what Ampadu as well, and now Gruev, and hopefully Strike when he comes back. The only one that's not having is obviously Bamford, but anyway, that's another story. But yeah, 10 out of 10 to the medical staff. So for me, I'm actually going to go with a 7 for Gruev. I think he was very, very good. To be fair, contributed a lot.
Sounds like I'm
Not
being
down.
harsh now.
Yeah, I actually thought you were doing very well. Like I said,
Want to see
7
him
to me
off
is
him. Want to
better.
see him get up to speed. Get him up to speed
Yeah.
as quick as possible. And yeah, he'd be a real good asset going forward into the season. Next up, right wing Dan James, Dylan. Actually thought he was okay. I went to 7 with Dan James. We thought he got a little bit of joy down the left hand side, linked up well with Bogle as what he always does. Just not. He didn't really kind of get the usual spaces where he usually gets, the chances to kind of run in behind, and that's because Burnley essentially every time Leeds had the ball, they were dropping into a back 6, back 7. They were just so defensive. So it was always going to be hard for James to get a bit of space and kind of make things happen. And he did have one shot right at the very end on the volley, caught it sweet. Just unfortunate, it was straight down the throat of James Trafford, and it's a fairly standard save that he has, to tip it over the bar. I think either side of him, it's in the back of the net. Trafford struggles to get a hand on it, so he was very unlucky for me, DJ. But a lot more like the DJ that we've seen, to trying to make things happen. It just didn't on the day. So went to 7 out of 10 for DJ.
Going back to like his shot number 1, straight down the throat at Trafford. Look, it was a great strike. Other than that, but then he had one before, and it looked like he was sending Solomon in. Remember, I think it was in the first half.
Yeah.
But then like it looked like a shot, so I didn't really know. So he had that chance as well. So that's what DJ brings to the team. Though he never gives up.
Didn't he have another chance? Only had to come into mind as well. Then when he was in the box, and didn't he kind of scuff it down into the ground. He kind of, as he went to hit it with his laces, he kind of completely mistimed and went straight across the goal. Then didn't it? We were unlucky with that one as well. So yeah.
That's what I like about
DJ.
He doesn't give up, even when we are, if we're down, like even back to Wembley, that goal goes in. That's what I like about him. Lads.
It's just when we're not fully on it, isn't it, Dylan? He just, he's always trying to, even when he's not,
just never
fully
gives
on
up.
it. He knows himself, but he doesn't stop. He doesn't let it affect him. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
So for me, I'm going to go with a 7 as well. What I like about him though is when he does drive forward, is putting them balls in across the keeper. When he's whipping it in. But that's where I'm having the issue now with the number 9 position, because Joseph does like to make them near post runs, and it would contribute if James was to be able to put on a play for him. And then on the other hand, with Pirro actually never really in the box because you can't catch him. DJ, he's gone like. So look, anyway, I'm gonna give him a 7. I'm loving him. I hope he keeps that going throughout the whole season, because, as you said in the previous video, for me, I think he'd be right up there for a player of the season.
Yeah. Next one, the man on the left hand side, Manor Solomon. It's gonna pain me to say this, Dylan, because it's to no fault of his own, but he doesn't get high scoring for me. Solomon, I went to 6 for him, and again, it's not to any fault of his own. It's just every time he got the ball, Jaden Anthony and Connor Roberts were just doubling up on him. Every time he got the ball, you could see it. And when you watch the game back and watch any sort of highlights, every time the ball comes to Solomon, you just see Jaden Anthony making it his business to get back to help Connor Roberts, and I think they knew it. And that just, to me, if I was Manor Solomon, I would be taking a more of a compliment, because it just shows they know what type of player that you are and the quality that he possesses for Leeds United. But he couldn't make it happen. Every time he tried to go down the wing, he'd Connor Roberts one way, and tried to come back, he Jaden Anthony the other way, so he had no choice but to just keep coming back inside, and back to Boyerman and into Tanaka and the Gruev. It just, fortunately, it didn't happen with him. Probably one of his quieter games in a League Cup, but I'm not going to be too critical of Manor Solomon. He's been absolutely outstanding. Goal and assist in the last game as well against Norwich. And look, not every team are going to be able to nullify him like the way Burnley did. So but just like most in this Leeds team, just a little bit ineffective, unfortunately. And so 6 out of 10 for Solomon.
6, right, fair enough. Look, he couldn't get into the game, but he did try to create some sort of, you could say, runs. But even when, I had to bring it up, Ramazani, when he came on, seemed to be a similar thing on that left-hand side.
Couldn't get going.
It was dominated, so I can't really, as you said,
put it down to Burnley more so, Dylan, don't you? Than the Leeds players, the way Burnley were set up.
Well, there's that as well, but then also, maybe you could say Fark as well there, because there could have been a different way he could have set it up there. To nullify Burnley.
It's all Dylan. It's all going to be kind of ifs and buts, though, isn't it? We should have did this
at this stage. Exactly.
To be honest, how many times we've dissected it so much, and thinking maybe Fark could have tweaked it here and tweaked it there. Okay, I'm definitely more on the positive side of it now. Now that a couple of days have passed, you just take the point, you move on, and yeah, I wouldn't want to be Burnley. I wouldn't want to sit there and watch that football. Look at
Definitely
they're
not.
going to be thereabouts. And Joe Blackburn said as well, they probably scored another 5 goals this season at home, and probably not concede a goal for the rest of the season at home. But like whatever, if that's what type of football you want to watch and you want to play, if it's effective and it gets you up out of this league, fair dues to you. But to me, it's not the way of playing
It's very
football. It's
boring.
just yeah.
It's very boring.
I think it's more than boring. And it's borderline kind of frustrating. Some people love it. Some people love the whole kind of clean sheets and defensively solid and the tactical kind of side of it. To me, I'm more like air towards the entertainment side of football, and there's nothing wrong with either side of it. You either want to entertain a football or you like the tactical side of football, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, look, it is what it is. Not my type of football, any.
I'm going to give Solomon anyway. I'm going to give him a 7.
7, yeah, not bad, not bad. Number 10 position, Brendan Aronson was there again. Probably, yeah, just ineffective, Dylan. Like, and again, it's to no fault of his own. He really, really tried to get about the place, try and get involved in it. He just couldn't. Again, it was just the way Burnley set up, rock solid. Every time he got the ball, he just had no space. He just had to release it quick. He does as usual, works his socks off when they have the ball to close him down. To be honest with you, he probably does the work of 2 men because he's always, kind of doing Pirro's work for them as well. So I went to 6 for Brendan Aronson. Yeah, just no real kind of quality again. The kind of unlock the door for us as a number 10 for me should do. Yeah, he just didn't have that. So, and again, it's down to Burnley, no fault of his own. But I fully expect him to pick it up against Cardiff on the weekend because he's usually brilliant and very good at Ellen Road. So yeah, expecting a much better performance from him on Saturday against Cardiff.
I thought he was good in the first half. His press was completely on it. No fault of his own again. It was definitely Pirro. Pirro gave him, passed him a few balls, and it was, he was falling over himself. But the passing itself that he was getting to went straightforward. Like, I can't really blame him for But coming into the second half, yet again, no fault of his own. He seems very jaded, lads, and tired. He was very tired. Like, he was huffing and puffing.
Do you
at one
blame him,
stage.
Dylan? Do you blame
No,
him?
this is what I'm saying, and I feel so bad on him, lads. And I keep saying it week in, week out. I'm not being smart. Like, if I was in Thor March, I'd grab Fark by the head and just go, will you change it up, man? Just give so the young fella is
give him a
absolutely
rest.
wrecked.
Yeah.
He really is knackered. Like,
And this is where, Dylan, you give him serious plaudits because he still just doesn't
Still
stop.
going.
How he's still able to go when he just looks absolutely wrecked. It's just like
there's got to be a serious day.
Carl from Martin Alberta.
as well. Like,
Yeah, we had
Something
Carl
pop
from Martin Alberta last night, and he said it as well that you just feel like at times when the game is kind of home and hose, 20, 25 minutes to go, like he's rotating
Take him
every
off.
other player. Up
if it's home,
just give him a
yeah. If I
give
win
him a
it,
little rest. Yeah,
Yeah,
20 minutes to go. Just give him a little rest. Like, but
yeah, I agree.
then again, but I don't know if like is Fark kind of playing the long game and the long finger with the 49ers kind of going, well, I've no choice, I've no other number 10, so I have to play him week in, week out. Do you know what I mean? It could be that, mightn't be, but you just don't know. I don't understand the thing behind just flogging him week in, week out, because when it comes down to the business end of the season, where games come thick and fast, the intensity goes up, and especially when you're playing them teams lower down the league, Dylan, when it becomes a dogfight, you're fighting for your life down there, they're going to up their game as well. Like, the games come very tough the closer it becomes towards the end of the season. And you need a fully fit flying Brendan Aronson, don't you? And he's not going to be that. If we keep flogging him the way that we are, I just can't see him being, fully ready for the end of the season. Fark needs to just start shaking it up a little bit. I'd love on the weekend, to be 2 or 3 up at half time against Cardiff, a nice easy game like we were at Plymouth at home, and then rotate it a little bit more, kind of get him off, get him off as early as possible, and let him kind of have his little rest. If you're not going to rotating from the start, at least start taking him off a little bit earlier, just so he can get them extra couple of minutes rest in his legs. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Go on.
I'm gonna give him a 6. That's what I'm going with.
6. Yeah.
I feel sorry on him. I really do feel sorry on him.
I think that's fair. Moving on to Joe Pirro. For me, Dylan, probably the lowest scoring I'm ever going to give. Well, I hope I'm ever going to give in player ratings. Dylan, I went to 4. I'm so disappointed with Joe Pirro, and said it before the Sheffield Wednesday game to you that I think it's probably time that we gave Pirro a good extended run in the team, even if he doesn't score for 2 or 3 games. Just keep persisting with him. But my God, I was expecting him to do a little bit more. He's been so off it. Sheffield Wednesday, Norwich, and against Burnley. He's just not involved in the game, whatsoever. He's not even looking to try and, create or make things happen, or even get in the box still, and on the end, the chances, it's a bit of a mind-boggling one. So yeah, I got it wrong when I said that I wanted Pirro to start for the next couple of games. Hands up, yeah, completely wrong. It worked a lot better when we were doing different horses for different courses and we were changing it up and, kind of keeping that rotation going between him and Matteo Joseph, even though Matteo Joseph wasn't banging them in. Pirro seemed to be more effective when he was coming off the bench. 4 goals off the bench this season, 6 of them from start, 4 of them off the bench. Really, really good record. So maybe just go back to that because that seemed to be working. But with Pirro up front, with Pirro up front, it doesn't seem to be. There's times that we feel that if he doesn't score, it feels like he doesn't play well. And then there's times you feel like we're essentially playing with 10 men because he's just not, just not doing that to kind of help the team out, which is annoying because I do love Joe Pirro. I really, really do. And look, he is our top goal scorer for a reason. He can score goals. I just want to play to his strengths a little bit more. And I think it's a bit of everything. I think it's that we don't play to his strengths at time. And this system just doesn't suit him at times as well. And, part of the fault of his own is that he doesn't get into the box, looking to get on the chances like that poacher kind of striker wanting to score goals. So, yeah, I think if we just start playing to Pirro's strengths, he'd score a lot more goals and we'd win a lot more games. But okay, Barker's the manager and he has the top of the leagues. Like, who am I? You know what I mean? So,
I can't believe you.
4, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't believe you went with a 4, to be honest. That hurts down. That's the thing. You know what I mean? No, look, I have to agree with everything you said, though. And that's another department that we seem to be struggling in because, one, it doesn't suit us the way that he plays his style of football. But he tries to a certain degree, and he's like a lost puppy out there at times. But look, lads, I still love him. I love his vibe that he brings to the team. Yeah, he looks stoned half of the time.
He probably scored 2 or 3 against Cardiff the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just make a bleeding tick out me. But I hope he does. That's what I really, really hope he does. It's just it's more like sad. The way he's played the last 3 games because unlike you, I love him the bits, but he just hasn't been doing it.
I'm gonna give him a 5 anyway.
5. You're making me look so bad doing these player rates.
Pirro could score 3 own goals. I still wouldn't give him a 4.
Right, moving on to the substitutions then. Matteo Joseph. I was pleasantly surprised with Matteo Joseph.
Yep.
Considering a couple of his substitution appearances this season haven't been too good coming off the bench. Thought he got straight into it, ran about, and I know some people will say, well, that's kind of the minimum for a football to run about, but he really, really tried to press them and, kind of unsettled that back line that was rock solid for me. Looked like a little bit more urgency in his game again, and like I wanted to kind of make things happen, and put himself about, and that's what you want as, striker coming on. Again, it just goes back to it that when he's the one coming on, when Pirro starts, it never really feels like he's going to be the one to get you the goal, where vice versa, when he starts games and Pirro is the man coming on, it feels like Pirro really does have an opportunity to get you goals. So, I want to see Joseph play a little bit more, but probably advocate him to start against Cardiff, which, might get a few kickbacks on that one, but I'd probably like to see just a bit of a change up front and, give Joseph his flowers for how well he played when he did come on. So, went to 6 for Joseph.
I went with a 7. I was really pleased with him because I wanted him to start against
you did,
Burnley.
You worked on it,
I just thought he done exactly what I wanted him to do when he did come on. Now I know it's in the past, the game's over, we got a point out of it, but there was times there, and it's probably a mad statement to come out with, they were a bit under pressure with Joseph's pressure. Burnley.
He did unsettle, yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was looking for. The unsettled. They were very unsettled.
It's probably because they had 80 minutes still of Pirro not, even trying to lay a glove on them. Do you know what I mean? They had it easy for 80 minutes. Do you know what I mean? With no kind of sort of pressure. And then you've got this, young, enthusiastic lad coming on the pitch, and trying to bully you and you're getting in your face, and especially when you're tired, that's hard to deal with, and you're right, he did, because we did towards the end of the game look like we were the ones where we're gonna nick it.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, imagine if he had got a goal in the 80, 90 minute.
Oh, it'd be unreal.
His confidence, number one, it would have been brilliant. Look, I'm liking him. Like a lot of people are saying, at the start of the season, he's going to be our best player, and then, he hasn't really done everything since. But that's what he does bring to the team. He might not score goals.
People were saying he was going to be championship top goal scorer.
Yeah, I know, they're mad lunatics.
Based on no sort of
nothing
stats or anything, based on nothing, just because you wanted to happen.
No, I think that's what he does bring to the table, you know, and it's something that he's not going to get praised for. Is he stretches the defence very well, and his overall pressing and general runs. And then look, I love when he does do that.
There's a player in there, Dylan, isn't there? There's a player in there that we just need the key to unlock it. And yeah, there's a player.
I love the near post run that he always makes, and I think it would suit with DJ. But then Piero's stats going to prove it itself. But yeah, I agree. I think a change up, but I'm going to give him a 7.
Nice. Moving on to Largy Ramazani, another substitute. Like what we said, kind of similar to Solomon. I think they kind of knew that they were bringing on someone with a little bit of quality, so they were looking to kind of press him and be on him and double up on him. He did have one chance with a shot that hit the side netting, that I thought he was unlucky with. But yeah, kind of failed to really kind of make an impact of what we've seen against Sheffield Wednesday and Norwich when he came on. But he's on his way back to full fitness still, and full kind of match fitness, which is important as well. And I think he's going to be a real threat, you know, for teams coming into this run in at the end of the season. I think he's going to be very, very good, and we just need a point to get away into this team. I think he'd absolutely murder Cardiff the weekend if we can get him in there somewhere. So I went to 6 out of 10 for Largy.
Yeah, I was going with a 6 as well there.
Just want to see him more. Just give him more. Can we play with 12 and just let me see him?
I wanted him to start though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you still doubled up on. It's a hard one, but look, he's still, there's a player in there, and his ceiling is so high it's unreal. But yeah, I just want to see him a little bit more involved, whether it is starting or, you know. But look, at the end of the day, there's obviously a reason why Fark isn't, you know, starting him and starting other players that we, to a certain degree, want to start, you know.
Yeah, like he sees them in training, yeah. We just see them on the pitch because we see them on the pitch and like we're like, oh yeah, start them. Like at the end of the day, Fark sees their attitude through the week, you know, what they're like, their recovery sessions, attitude and training and stuff like that. So yeah, look, at the end of the day, when you see Solomon and James playing, you have every right to kind of be like, yeah, they're the ones, aren't they? Solomon's been outstanding, James scores your goals, so yeah, it's just about right. But what an option! What an option to be
serious option.
When he came off the bench.
Yeah, that's what I keep saying. The subs bench alone is serious. Like, it's just bringing them on at the 70th minute when the game is dead. Like, and sorry, go on. Yeah, move on, because we're coming to it. We are coming to it. Sorry.
Next up, Gilavogi. He came on very, very late. I think it's very harsh again. It seems to be the same with Gilavogi when he does come on. Harsh to kind of give him any sort of score, but we probably have to, so I'll give him a 5. Would have likened to see Rotwell come on.
That's what
again, we'll have to find out about Gruev. Hopefully he's all right, because it did look like he was limping off a little bit. So
his knee looked to be very swollen there, didn't it?
I'd say it was probably just the one. I'd say might have just been a bit of swelling built.
I got a little bit of a fright, like, considering I know, like, you know what my knees are like. They're like glass.
Cheese knees on you.
And when I seen it, I kind of got. It didn't look right to me, like, do you know what I mean? But anyway.
So he came on obviously to shore up the defence and make sure we were defensively solid and take the point. I would have liked to see Rotwell come on just to go for it. That's just me. That's like my type of football I see. But you know, Fark doesn't, and then there's Leeds fans like see nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I'm one of them. I like risk. I like taking risks. You know, what I mean, live life on the edge and all that sort of stuff. But
I agree.
Gilavogi came on. Yeah, sure things up, but gonna go 5 out of 10 again. Didn't have anything to do. Feels a bit harsh. Kind of rating him.
Yeah, really kind of hard to comment on. So late in the game, couldn't really get involved. You know, but I suppose
just a body, wasn't he? Just a defensive big unit.
That's what he's here to do. To run the clock down. Yeah, look, I'll give him a 6. I don't really like giving the same rating that you're giving. I'll give him a 6, just considering he's a legend. To be fair, isn't he? He's a funny guy.
For the first time ever, Dylan, on player ratings, I'm going to catch you off guard on. I want to start rating the referees. Getting their names and rating them, and then going back across. Because I think the standard of refereeing in the Championship, Dylan, and probably in the Premier League, is so bad, Dylan. So bad. The referee was John Smith. I didn't think he get a good performance, Dylan. I thought he was well below it. He was very, very inconsistent with some of the fouls that he was given were soft. Like the one even on Rodon, this coming from a Leeds fan, I thought was very soft. Your man literally just didn't even just touch them, barely put his hands on his back. Rodon fields it, goes down, gives a free kick, and then you look at the penalty decision, Dylan. Like I look back on it, and I keep saying it could it be the Leeds tinted glasses that I'm wearing here, but I think it was a penalty. I really, really do think it's a penalty, because anywhere across the pitch, it's given as a foul. So if it's inside the box, it's a penalty. For me, he's just not playing the ball whatsoever. Cleans Boyer over. and the referee just waves it away. But overall, I thought he was very inconsistent when you go back to the Ampadu tackle as well. Brilliant tackle, how he's given that as a free kick. I'll never know. Yeah, just a lot of his decisions I think he got wrong. So I went to 3. Went a really, really, really bad performance from the referee for me.
What I don't like is his attitude. At the end of the day, no, I really don't. You know, I can't remember who it was. Someone went to argue it was it Bogle? It was Bogle.
Bogle went to argue with the fourth official.
Was it not the linesman?
No, the linesman. Sorry, yeah, it was the linesman. Yeah, and he came over a bit kind of snobby.
He got a yellow card straight away. Like, he's allowed to a certain degree, lads. No, I'm saying that to a certain degree, he's allowed to argue his point.
Yeah, you're allowed to ask the question.
Exactly. Like,
you don't know what Bogle said to him, though, Dylan. Do you know, like, God knows what Bogle said. Like, I think any sort of kind of language, you know, that they've full entitlement to book them, like, so. You don't know what said. Yeah, I just thought it was a poor refereeing performance. It was just so up and down, like so inconsistent. Like if you're gonna make one decision for a soft free kick, fine, but you make that then for the rest of the match. Or if you're gonna be lenient and let away stuff like that, well then let them away with it for the rest of the match. You can't change it through.
Well,
the game.
as you said,
your consistency can't be up and down.
The penalty claim was very similar to a free kick that we seen later in the game.
Yeah.
So if it's a free kick, if it's a free kick, then why wasn't it a penalty then?
Yeah,
it's no different.
Just afraid. The only thing it goes down to is just having the cojones to make the decision, to make the big decisions in the game. Yeah. That's it. And I think this whole, like, it's probably not totally down to like in the Championship, but you definitely see it in the Premier League. There's a lot of the Premier League referees that are just afraid to make the decision now because in the back of their head, you know, VAR there anyway because they're going to pull it back if it is going to be a penalty anyway or overturn it if it's not. You know what I mean? So it's like they're just afraid to make decisions now. They're just like, yeah, look, I'll see what I see and like. Comment on what I can, and if not, I have VAR there to help me out. And I just feel like that's the way refereeing has gone in the Premier League now. Poor for me.
Poor. I'm gonna give him. I'll give him a 2.
2. Very last one, Dylan, before we wrap it up, and it was one that I only noticed, and I didn't notice at the time after the game was over, and when we did our match reaction yesterday with Carl and Joe Blackburn, was Willie Nanto never got a run out, Dylan.
Yeah, again.
Didn't feature. Just
if anything, that's where
it could be. It is. It's only the way like the game went. Do you know what I mean? And we understand what Wi-Fi didn't bring him on. Do you know what I mean? Like the game is so tight, and you can't risk changing it up too much. You know, where we're taking the draw. Fully understand that, but I just think for Willie Nanto and his career and the promise that, like, you know, he has, and what we all kind of thought at the start of the season that he was going to be the one to kind of hang our hat on and the main man. It just feels like a little bit like, where's it going wrong for Willie Nanto, isn't it? And how do we help him? How do we help him get back to that Nanto that we know of, that consistency and that level of performance? Because Jesus, Dylan, we could do it. If we could have him flying fit, Ramazani coming back fit, you know, Gruev as well, like that's really good. That's only a good thing for Leeds United coming towards the tail end of the season.
Oh, no, I don't feel sorry on now. That's what I am, and I'm starting to feel sorry for him because as I said, when you put that post up, kind of not all is forgiven, but I definitely had a soft spot. I was kind of saying, fair enough, the appreciation that you had to put that up. Now, whether you got someone to do it, or an agent, or you know, a media influencer, or whatever you want to call it, someone to do it, it still came from his profile, and that's what I liked about it. Yeah, I agree, Darren. I just want them to do well. I really want them to get off the mark. I feel like if Ramazani and Willie Nanto are really up to speed, there's no stopping the two of them. And I think bringing, you know, like even DJ on. But look, DJ is undroppable for me at the minute.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, like, it's just... He just needs to kind of get the finger out. If DJ's performing the way he is and Solomon's performing the way he is, and we're all, you know, noticing it and happy with it, well, the two boys should kind of be like, well, we really need to pull our socks up here. You want that competition in the team.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree. Dillo, that's it for player ratings. I actually enjoyed that one. We're trying to do it nice and quick and not drag it out as long as we had the last one. It was probably a tough one, probably the toughest player ratings we've done, Dylan, because let's all be honest with ourselves, that was a very poor game of football to watch, and it's very hard to rate players. You want to see players free flowing, you know, good game of football and stuff like that. That was a tough one, and probably a lot of our player ratings were tough. So yeah, guys, let us know in the comment box below where we weigh off what your player ratings is, because it's always an interesting one. It can be a controversial one as well, because one person might think a player played well, another person might think they played shite, and that's obviously the beauty of opinions and football. Myself and Dylan will be back tomorrow for the match build up ahead of Cardiff a day earlier, because we are flying out to Leeds early on Saturday morning, so Friday night will be tucked up in our beds, Dylan, nice and early on, like it's a Christmas Eve for me and you, is it?
Tucked up in the bed with a pint. Ready to
So
go.
yeah, lads, that's it from Only Leeds Bros. That's it for player ratings. On the way out, please don't forget to smash a like on the video, hit subscribe to the channel, and share with anyone that you think might like this. We are on Spotify now, lads, as well. If you have seen a couple of the posts I've been putting about, so if you do fancy on a bit of Spotify when you're out, you know, walking the dog on your way to work or whatever, you don't want to look at our ugly mucks and just listen to our lovely, luscious voices. You can listen to us on Spotify there as well if you want. So that's it for Only Leeds Bros. Have a good week. We chat you all.